where did you get all this cash? That question sliced through the air the second Karen, yes, her real name, spotted the thick stack of bills in James Miller's hand. But to understand that moment, we have to rewind a bit. James had just strolled into Global City Bank, calm and unbothered, dressed in black jeans, a simple tee, and a light jacket. He gave a polite nod as he entered the business account section and said evenly, "Good afternoon. I'd like to make a deposit." The teller, a white woman with judgment already flickering in her eyes, glanced him up and down before replying sharply, "Oh, this area's for business clients only. The regular line is over there." James didn't flinch. "I'm in the right place. I just came from the studio. Anyway, I need to make a deposit." He sat down, unzipped his bag, and handed over a neat bundle of cash. That's when she hit him with it. "Where on earth did you get this much cash?" James didn't miss a beat. "From my business." Karen wasn't convinced. Her expression hardened as she said, "Before we continue, I'll need to see some ID." Funny thing, just a few minutes earlier, a white man in a suit had walked in, made his deposit, and left without a single question. Still, James obliged. He opened his wallet and handed over his driver's license. Karen stared at it, frowned, and looked back at him. "Is this really you?" James held her gaze. "Yes, it's really me." She hesitated, then doubled down. "I'll need another form of identification." James arched a brow. "Why?" "I've never been asked that before," Karen replied coldly. "According to bank policy, I can ask for verification if I suspect suspicious activity. Have you ever been treated like a criminal just for existing? What would you do if you were in James's place? If you believe no one should face discrimination for how they look, hit that like button, subscribe to Story Arc, and tell us in the comments, where are you watching from?" James leaned back slightly, studying her. "Suspicious activity?" he echoed, but instead of arguing, he reached into his bag again. "You know what? Here, my college ID. That should work." Karen peered at the card like it was a bad joke. Her lips twisted. "Stanford? You expect me to believe you went to Stanford? This looks fake. I'm going to need a passport or something official." James exhaled slowly, keeping his tone even. "Why would I bring my passport to a bank?" Karen's face tightened. "Oh, so you want to be a smart guy now?" she snapped, raising her voice. "Stella, can you come here, please?" Moments later, another white woman appeared, neatly dressed, wearing glasses. She stepped forward, curious. Karen held up the Stanford ID. "Does this look real to you?" Stella glanced at it, then nodded without hesitation. Yeah, that's definitely real." Karen's smirk faded instantly. Her jaw tightened as she muttered, "Okay, thanks." Without another word, Stella turned and walked away. Karen turned back toward James, her tone frosty. "I need to count this." She started feeding the thick wad of cash into the counting machine, the steady whir filling the silence. James leaned back in his chair, maintaining his calm. Then, without a word, he reached into his bag again and pulled out a folded slip of paper. "Oh, I'd like to deposit this too," he said casually, sliding a check across the counter. Karen glanced down and froze. Her face changed instantly. $20,000? She said, her voice sharp with disbelief. "Seriously? What are you doing with this kind of money?" James looked her straight in the eye. "It's not really any of your business." Karen picked up the check and read the printed name across the top. Her jaw tightened. "This is from J. Miller Capital," she muttered. "You actually expect me to believe you work there?" "This check looks fraudulent." But James didn't flinch. "You're welcome to call the company and confirm it yourself. Have you ever had someone look you in the face and try to tear you down just because they couldn't imagine you being successful? If you believe that success has no skin color, hit that like button and subscribe to Story Arc for more real stories like this." Karen leaned forward, sneering. "Oh, please. You probably don't even have a real job. Maybe I should just call security instead." That was it. James finally stood. His tone was calm, but there was no mistaking the authority in his voice. "You know what? I'm done. Give me my cash and check back and I'll be on my way." Karen's expression hardened into defiance. Instead of returning anything, she slid her hand beneath the counter and pressed a hidden button. "Security!" she shouted. Within seconds, a tall, muscular black security guard entered the room. His presence alone shifted the atmosphere. Steady, professional, commanding. "Is everything all right here?" he asked, glancing between them. Karen didn't hesitate. She jabbed a finger toward James, her voice loud and dramatic. "No, it's not. This man gave me a fake ID, lied about where he works, and now he's trying to deposit a fraudulent check." James didn't move a muscle. "More like she's profiling me and making assumptions when I'm just trying to handle a normal transaction." Karen rolled her eyes so hard it was almost theatrical. Then, raising her voice for everyone nearby to hear, she spat, "You people are all the same. Always pulling the race card when you get caught. I know a crook when I see one." The entire lobby went silent. James met her gaze, his voice steady and cutting through the tension. "Everything you just said couldn't be further from the truth. You claimed I didn't go to college, but I not only attended one of the top universities in the country, I graduated at the top of my class. Then I built my own company from scratch. Today, that company stands as one of the most successful financial institutions in the city." He paused, eyes locked on hers. "The point is, never judge a book by its cover because I'm not just an employee at J. Miller Capital. I'm the CEO. Karen stared for a long second before bursting into loud, mocking laughter. "Oh, you expect us to believe that?" she scoffed, turning toward the guard. "Get him out of here. He's clearly lying." But the security guard didn't move. Instead, he raised an eyebrow and looked straight at her. "What if he's telling the truth?" the security guard said evenly. "Maybe you should call the number on the check just to be sure." Karen froze. That clearly wasn't the reaction she expected. But after a tense pause, she huffed and muttered, "Fine." She picked up the phone on her desk, dialed the number printed on the check, and said briskly, "Hello, this is Karen from Global City Bank. I have someone here trying to cash what appears to be a fraudulent check. Could you please connect me to the owner? Thank you." But just as she finished her sentence, James's phone began ringing, loudly. He reached into his pocket, pulled out his phone, and calmly turned the screen toward her. The caller ID flashed Global City Bank. Then he answered. "You see," James said, his tone cool and controlled, "you're calling me. Have you ever seen that instant when someone's entire world collapses under the weight of their own ignorance?" Karen just stood there, frozen, her hand slowly lowering from the receiver. I don't understand," she whispered, eyes darting between her phone and his. But before she could say another word, the branch manager stepped in. A middle-aged white man in a crisp blue suit entered the room, smiling warmly. "Mr. Miller," he greeted. James turned to him, calm as ever. "Stephen, good to see you." Karen blinked in disbelief. "Sir, you know this guy?" she asked weakly. Stephen's smile vanished in an instant. His tone grew firm. "Of course I do. This is James Miller, owner of J. Miller Capital, our biggest client." Karen's jaw nearly hit the counter. "Our biggest client?" she stammered. "Yes," Stephen replied curtly. Then, noticing the tension, he turned to the security guard and back to James. "Is everything all right here?" James exhaled slowly. "No, Stephen, it's not. Karen here just profiled me because of how I look." Stephen's face darkened. He turned sharply toward Karen. "You what?" Karen's hands trembled as she stammered. I mean, can you blame me?" "Just look at him." That was all Stephen needed to hear. His voice went cold. "You should know better than to ever judge a book by its cover." Then he turned back to James, his tone full of apology. "Mr. Miller, I'm deeply sorry. I assure you this will never happen again, because Karen here is fired." Karen's mouth fell open. "Fired? Wait, no, you can't do that." Stephen didn't even blink. "I just did. We've already had complaints about you racially profiling customers. I should have acted sooner." He nodded toward the security guard. "Please see that she gathers her things." Karen stood frozen, her face pale. As the guard calmly motioned for her to pack up, Stephen turned back to James. "Mr. Miller, I'd like to personally assist you in my office. Please follow me. Have you ever seen someone try to tear another person down only to be destroyed by the truth? If you believe respect should never depend on appearance, hit that like button and subscribe to Story Arc for more stories that show what happens when prejudice meets power. And with that, the man she tried to humiliate walked past her, head high, straight into the VIP office she never even knew existed. For Karen, the story ended there, but the lesson it left behind will last forever.